Outsiders. I am Justice Pariah, and this is the Venom guy from the thumbnail.
With whatever thumbnail, I'm the one with the animal head.
We thought, hey, I'm Spider-Man, and I fight a lot of animal villains. Animal face guy.
Yes, I'm Animal Face Guy. That's my name.
Okay, anyway, so this is the guy who got me into Spectacular Spider-Man, and now that I've seen the full show, we thought we'd discuss it a little bit. So, alright, let's start this off. Favorite villain in the entire show?
Green Goblin.
Okay, we can't go into why. We both know why, and everyone who's seen the show knows why.
He's just great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything more. I'm just saying he's amazing.
He's amazing. Like, honestly, put him and Willem Dafoe might be side by side in how they play the Goblin.
I like them both for very different reasons.
They're both really great.
Phenomenal.
In
both shows.
I will say, Doc Ock in the movies though.
Definitely in the movies. Like he's mid in the show.
He really is. Lizard though.
Lizard, I remember when I told you that was like I thought that Lizard was like the best version of Lizard I've ever seen before like I showed you the show.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I thought the way his arm kind of grew out was a little weird with like how they did that effect.
Right.
But like, I'm not gonna let one minor bad thing ruin how great of an episode that is.
It wasn't just a great episode. It was like a great trilogy of episodes.
Oh yeah, because like...
It starts off with episode 1, then like picks up on episode 2
with Electro. Which,
then,
again, I actually really like how they did Electro.
I think that was probably my favorite Electro as well. Electro's incredible in that show.
I don't know if I'd say he's my favorite, no disrespect to Jamie Foxx because he's great in practically everything he's in.
Well, except for Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, sorry.
They retroactively put him in the Spider-Man 2? The original one?
I know, it's crazy.
I would have actually liked if Max Dillon actually did show up in the Raimi films, but that's another thing. But okay, so going back to the Lizard for a second, I just really love his arc and how he's just kind of he's just a really good character. I just love how his entire thing, his reason to grow the arm back wasn't for selfish purposes or anything.
No, I mean it was inspired by his own disability, but it was also to help other people who had the same problems with not having another being amputees and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I believe in the episode they talk about war veterans and stuff, which as someone who I'm a grandson of someone who fought in the Navy, so
yeah,
he didn't get hurt or anything, but I have a massive respect for the military because of that.
Yeah.
But
and my dad's army chaplain, and my great granddad fought in he fought and then he became a cook in the military. The German military during World War I, but we don't. Yeah.
Well, we don't talk about that.
I mean, it's not World War II. But...
okay, you're right. World War I Germany is significantly better than World War II Germany.
Yes, I mean they still committed a lot of war crimes, but at least they weren't.
The Lizard, I love how the first thing he does when he gets his arm, he immediately just is with his family. He's hugging them, and he picks up his young child. Yeah, that's wholesome.
That's the first thing he does is hug his son. It's just great.
That's amazing.
And then how it all just spirals down and goes wrong. It's just it's heartbreaking.
Especially when you realize on rewatch that if Electro hadn't have done anything in that one episode, he probably would have been fine.
Yeah. It's just one minute. That's just good writing.
It really is. Okay, I want to say this though, since we're on the topic of villains.
Mm-hmm.
Kraven easily the worst one in the entire show.
I 100% agree. Now, I'm a furry, but I thought that was, no cap, that was weird as fuck. I did not enjoy that. I was really, with his girlfriend flirting with him in the limo. I was ew.
Look, Batman flirting with the cheetah is bad enough, and you told me the reason behind that. I don't care. That's still some pretty messed up freaking stuff, okay?
No, it's weird. It's weird with Cheetah. Although I forgive it because he's not actually doing it because he likes her. He's doing it to manipulate her. She's doing it because she's into it, and that's what's messed up and creepy about it.
Okay, seriously. Why did you turn Kraven into that? His entire thing is that he hunts animals. Why did you turn him into
Why am I still holding this piece of paper?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't care. Maybe that's a running joke. I don't know. We have to talk about the elephant in the room, though, because I said in my...
Which one?
Well, the symbiote in the room.
Right.
Now, I said in my review that my favorite episode of the show is Intervention. Season 1, episode 12. Everything in that episode is what Sam Raimi should have done in Spider-Man 3.
I agree.
I
mean, think...
And it was so easy for him to do as well. Like,
yeah.
Man.
Just didn't have the budget, didn't have the time.
And... executives, stop forcing what you want into these movies and let directors be directors, alright? If you wanted Sam to put Venom in the movie, give us Eddie Brock and then save Venom for, like, the fourth one or something.
Symbiote in the room, yes.
Okay. I just genuinely love how the symbiote, like, starts out... It's very reminiscent of Spider-Man 3 in that it's just over-textured. Like, it's the red suit colored black and white.
Mm-hmm.
But then it slowly devolves into the symbiote we know.
Yes.
And something I saw pointed out is how the white grows and grows. And then on Venom, it's like both spiders on the back and front are connected to show that full connection.
That he's fully,
That they're fully, like, embraced.
It's visual storytelling at its greatest.
It's so good.
I love that. I love that series of episodes. Even like the finale with Venom, I liked that too.
And that's great. Like,
I thought it was a little cheesy.
I thought it was cheesy how he was like the main villain of season 1.
Well,
he was the final villain because.
Well, for me, the cheese was like where it's like, oh, my family is my big giant spider wall that's keeping you from taking over again. I was like, that's kind of dumb, but.
But hey, it did give us a really good moment with Gwen at the end, like, cause that's actually a really cool way to show that characters have feelings for each other.
Yeah.
But I'd never seen something like that done before, where like something that knows your emotions better than you knows how to manipulate you. Like, especially nowadays, like, especially at that point, like the only 3 movies were the original Sam Raimi films.
Yeah.
So like everybody would have expected as soon as Mary Jane was introduced, oh, Mary Jane. But no, it's Gwen.
Yeah.
I just love everything they did with the symbiote. The symbiote was good. I thought it was interesting in season 2 how Eddie's kind of appearing with a shirt that kind of looks like he's Venom again to trick him into giving up the location of the symbiote. Part of me kind of wishes that building that it was in, like, broke or something. Like, something happened in the construction zone and the rubble caused the symbiote to go free. I feel like that would have been a more fun narrative.
Right.
Maybe a little contrived, but...
No,
I don't know. I feel like it would have been, like, a better way of bringing... like, the symbiote back, because, come on, it's comic books, like, like, there's a few contrived moments every now and again, but, like, come on, like, as long as most of the meat is good, like, then I think it's fine, just don't try and over-contrive everything.
Right.
Batwoman! In other words,
we all know.
In other words, don't do it because the plot says so. I hate because the plot says so stuff.
I agree.
But yeah,
we are both creative writing majors. So, well, you already graduated, but
I was, and I graduated, and I talked about that, and I'm happy with where I am right now. I'm still making things, and looking forward to seeing what the future has in store for me. But
yeah.
just quick thing. Favorite villain that's kind of like underrated, like one-off villain.
Trying to think. There's not a whole lot of one-offs.
That's
They all seem to like kind of like appear again at some point.
That's true.
Shocker doesn't appear a whole lot. But then again, I don't know. Shocker's okay.
Wasn't he part of the original Sinister Six?
He was, but that was like his only. Like he only really appeared like again with the whole Sinister Six arcs. He didn't ever have like his own episodes again. I don't think.
I mean, he still gets better treatment than Magma Man.
Oh yeah.
Like I harped on how bad Kraven was, and I still believe Kraven was treated very badly in Spectacular Spider-Man, but Magma Man, and also Captain Jupiter. I actually kind of liked Captain Jupiter.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, though, why Captain Jupiter? I don't think Captain Jupiter is an actual like comics thing, because in the comics,
he's a werewolf.
Yeah, he becomes a man-wolf.
I would have loved to see Man-Wolf.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Enough about villains. Let's talk about some of the heroes. Like, I think this might be one of the few Spider-Man timelines where literally nobody else knows he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Venom knows, but come on, that's kind of cheating because the symbiote implanted it into his brain.
Yeah, and that's just kind of always been that way.
Yeah, that's how the symbiote works.
Also,
what I mean is that Peter never told anybody. Like, he never ripped off the mask and told anybody that he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Something I remember talking to you about that I didn't like in the beginning was like the art style of the show. But it really grew on me as episodes went on. I thought, man, this is really simplistic. Like, don't get me wrong, like, the CGI in Season 2 near the end was, like, really obvious.
Right, yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just because it's 2022. Like, it didn't look terrible, it just looked obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2008 CGI, but... Mixed, and it was mixed with animation, so... With 2D animation, so... It was no Prince of Egypt where it mixed them together almost seamlessly. A good one, one of my favorite one-offs, my favorite one-off villain, the Chameleon.
Chameleon is great. Spider-Man's first ever villain, and he's treated so well in this show.
I love Chameleon. Okay, there we go. That's my pick on that question. Should we mention who our favorite villain, like just in general, is, or did we do that?
I think that was kind of what we were going for at the start, but for me, it's between Lizard the Goblin, and Venom. Like, I'd probably honestly put Lizard above Venom.
Oh yeah, Lizard was only in there once, so he'd be a one-off villain.
Yeah, he'd probably be
one
of the best one-off villains.
He was probably the best one-off villain, yeah.
Yeah, he really is the best.
Also, don't forget Tombstone.
Tombstone. Yeah, I really need to rewatch Season 1 to talk about how great he was. Because Season 2 kind of did him dirty with, like, he just kind of showed up again, and then he was just arrested. And I was like,
now listen closely, and I'll teach you the facts of life.
Tombstone's good.
Tombstone is a...
I'm gonna censor that so it sounds even worse. I love the way Peter Parker is portrayed in this show.
Yes!
Okay, because it's just long enough after the Ben death that we don't need the spider bite again.
Yes.
But he still holds on to that lesson of with great power comes great responsibility. Why couldn't the MCU do that?
They had to wait until they killed off Aunt May.
I see people defending that as saying like the entire trilogy is Amazing Spider-Man 15. No, it is not Amazing Fantasy 15. You can't do that. He had to learn with great power comes great responsibility 3 separate times. Civil War, Far From Home, and now No Way Home. He doesn't need to learn it this many times.
Yeah.
But I digress. We're not here to talk about that version of Spider-Man. Tom Holland, I have no disrespect for you. You're a great actor.
Except for when you said that you didn't mind a bisexual Spider-Man.
I fully agree with you.
Stan Lee even disagreed.
Rip Stan Lee.
If
Stan Lee was in No Way Home, maybe I actually would consider it like the best, depending on what they did with him. Like if he would have like shown up as like an old retired Spider-Man.
Stan Lee is in Spider-Man Remastered.
Also, I thought he was gonna get more than one cameo in Spectacular Spider-Man. Just saying.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, he was just the hot dog vendor. Although I don't, at least he was in it.
At least he was in it. Yes, he deserved to.
Yeah.
If they would have gotten Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, I think Ditko was dead at that point.
Probably.
May he rest in peace. Oh, I love how Peter still feels like the nerd we all know, and Spider-Man still feels like this fun side to him.
Mm-hmm.
But the two blend a lot, and I actually kind of like that. Like, don't get me wrong, there's supposed to be a double life, and I love what Season 1 does with the, like, how he likes being Spider-Man, but also he's starting to realize how it could be taking a toll on his life.
Right.
Which is really good. I like that. I mean, that's one of the big reasons why I love Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the way Spider-Man is portrayed. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about how I thought some of the art style was very simplistic at the start.
Yeah.
Are you just taking medicine while we're doing
I'm
this?
just taking Tom's. I got a little bit of heartburn. Hold on.
I'll edit this out because this is personal.
Oh. I did that for the camera. It's not that personal.
Okay, I'll leave that in there. But the art style complements the kinetic energy of the show. Spider-Man feels so kinetic.
Mm.
And those action scenes are really good. So they go on for quite a while, which really shows just how much they're able to do.
You know who actually did the Spectacular Spider-Man show? He also did the Batman animated show. So that explains like the kind of kinetic like the very, very almost anime-esque kinetic type of action that it has.
Yeah.
The one that replaced the Batman animated series that everyone is mad about the Batman for.
Hey, the Batman is a good show.
I actually liked it.
I liked it. It's fine. It's not perfect.
It's not. I don't think it's the definitive Batman show,
No,
but it is still really good.
I really love the kinetic energy of Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yes.
But it's something I really love seeing, especially with like how they use some of the shots.
Mm.
The one thing that does bug me a little bit, not too much about the show, is that when I'm watching it, or when I was watching it, you can tell when the commercial breaks were supposed to be with how they do it. I don't like that.
I get that.
That's a minor nitpick. That's a personal
A lot of
thing.
animated shows do that.
But
especially like.
it's
action
worse
breaks.
in live action.
Oh yeah.
CW does it all the time. Of course, the CW we don't need to talk about.
CW has there's nothing good about it anymore. If there ever was anything good about it.
They made Smallville.
Okay, I've heard Smallville was really good.
Smallville is the entire reason they made the Arrowverse again, is because they were trying to repeat the success.
Yeah.
But I won't go into that too much.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Let's talk about some of the other side characters in the show. What do you like the most about Gwen Stacy?
Gwen Stacy. What do I like? I think she's got good personality. Like, I think it's She doesn't feel like she feels very three-dimensional. Like she's got like her own interests like that, and like her own like kind of like her own family life that we don't really have a full picture of, but we can tell that there's like more there because we actually see her mom come in and help Peter cook and stuff for Thanksgiving, and like we also see like a lot more of her interests of being like, and like her interest in Peter. I think my favorite scene with her is still like episode 1, where both Harry and her are like looking at Peter like while he's like going to like propose to for one of them to like be like go to the dance. And he goes,
that's Sally Averill, his first love interest in the comics.
the blonde one.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
her.
okay. But it was just really funny.
She's the worst. Sally is the worst.
No, it was just, I just thought it was hilarious because it was just
Not
like,
as in she's a bad written character. I just really don't like her personality.
I mean, she gets a little bit better in season 2.
A little bit in that one episode.
She doesn't just want him fucking dead.
But yeah, that's a normal thing.
Yeah, I mean, at least she had like some redeeming quality there.
Back to Gwen for a second,
Right,
because
sorry.
I want to talk about something about her, or more her family. Do you know who actually voices Captain Stacy?
I don't.
Clancy Brown. Have you ever seen Detroit Become Human, the video game?
I have, yes.
He's the detective working with Connor.
He's oh. Okay, now I have something I can like there. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's him.
That's Detective Stacy.
That is Captain Stacy.
Captain Stacy.
That's
He was such a cool character too. It's like, and you could tell like they don't ever outwardly say that he knows he's Spider-Man,
but it's
very
really
well
freaking
implied.
obvious.
And he's like, oh, I see. So you like put this camera over there so that you can take pictures when you're gone. That's a pretty good angle too. He's like,
yeah, and then that's one cool thing. But then there's also that like when he starts teaching the class, he just specifically holds Peter after the class and just says that one line, and I'm just like, yeah, he knows.
Right? Yeah. He's great. I love him.
I was talking to you before this episode about like how we never got season 3.
Yeah.
But how season 2 sets up for
fantastic season 3.
A fantastic season 3. Okay, let's just say this. I think season 3 is when they would have had the Goblin kill Gwen Stacy.
Yes.
And I was talking to you about how like Peter would rip off his mask in front of Gwen after failing to catch her. She's not dead yet. She looks into his eyes and then dies.
It would be TV-14. Season 3 would be TV-14 just for violence.
Because she died?
I mean, TVY7 you can't kill anyone, or TVPG anymore.
Really?
I mean, I haven't seen a single TVPG thing where someone has died. It's like, unless it was like for comedic effect, in which it wasn't taken as a big deal.
Okay, yeah, no. Gwen Stacy's death always has to be taken as a big deal.
Yeah, so it would probably be TV-14. So they'd probably go the, what's that show? The same route of Young Justice, where they'd like kind of up the ante a little bit and make it a little bit more violent. Not really have cursing or anything, just kind of.
Of course, because that would change it too much. Imagine if, since Captain Stacy already knows, Gwen dies. Peter's there looking into her eyes, and that's what sets up like Captain Stacy being against Spider-Man going forward because he failed to save his daughter.
Ooh,
and really bringing it, like, basically bringing it to him that
he didn't keep my daughter safe.
Yeah, you can't keep anyone safe, Peter.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't want him to repeat season 1 with him having an existential crisis.
Yeah.
But it could be a good opportunity to turn the police force against Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And maybe even introduce the Scorpion with like J. Jonah Jameson.
Ooh.
Because
that would be great.
Because that's
like
an
season four, Scorpion would have Scorpion introduced.
Yeah, like
that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Like, I'm just throwing this out there. Like, these are just general concepts that come to mind. So
no, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, this is what happens when you get two people talking about something they're passionate about.
Both the police force and J. Jonah team up to make the Scorpion to take out Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and then Scorpion kills. What if Scorpion kills Captain Stacy?
I don't know if I would want that route yet. Maybe if we thought about that a little bit more. However, one thing, if they were going to kill off Gwen and have Peter go out with Mary Jane, I would not want that until, like, Spectacular Spider-Man was supposed to have 5 seasons. End of season 4, start of season 5.
Right.
Otherwise, it would be way too soon. I feel like you have to naturally...
No, it would have to be, like, at least at the end of season 4.
Yeah, at very least end of season 4.
And honestly, if it were to continue, I think it should only be like 5 seasons.
Oh, 5 seasons is what they had planned, with movies sprinkled in between to try and make like an animated like.
There was going to be Spectacular Spider-Man movies. I hate my life. We never got that. We never got that. I didn't know that. Now I'm mad.
Disney does ruin everything, man.
Yeah.
We talked about Gwen. We talked about Captain Stacy. But I just brought her up, so we need to talk about her. Let's talk about Mary Jane a bit. The thing I love the most about the Mary Jane encounter...
She's my type. I like redheads. They're hot.
Yes, redheaded females are hot.
Glad you clarified females. Because I am in the room, and I am a redhead.
Really, the real thing I like about Mary Jane is that when she's first introduced, it's straight out of the comics. Her line, "Face it, Tiger, you hit the jackpot."
Yeah.
Go back and read the Spider-Man comics. That's literally her first ever line when Peter finally meets her. Now, she did appear before that in, like, different places, but Peter, like, just misses her, which is basically what happens in Spectacular Spider-Man anyway.
Right.
So...
Ooh, Miss Wonderful Personality.
But yet she takes his breath away.
No, it was. I love the build-up of that. It's like, oh, this nice little girl, Mary Jane. It's like, oh, really? What's she like? She has a wonderful personality.
He's such a teenager in that moment. That's great.
It's like, usually when people say that, it's like, she's got personality. She not looking too good though. It's like, and then talking to Harry about it. It's like, oh man, this Mary Jane, what's she like? She says she has a wonderful personality.
Okay, I need to find out who voices Harry Osborn in that show.
He's great.
He did a fantastic job. Like, everybody gives props to Josh Keaton. And props to him, he did a fantastic job as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Peter Parker. But Harry Osborn's voice actor just...
Oh yeah.
It's
really good.
It's really good.
He's able to sell like the nervous nerd kid, the nervous rich kid who's basically so deprived of affection that he's trying to get validation any way he can. But he also... It makes a good, cruel, manipulative...
The end of season 2. Ooh. The way he does that, it honestly, do you believe Harry knows that Peter is Spider-Man at the end of season 2?
No.
Honestly, from the way it was looking and how he was manipulating the situation, I don't think he knows, but I think if he did, that's what would be a major catalyst for season 3.
Right. It was kind of reminiscent of Spider-Man 2.
You mean Spider-Man 1, the graveyard scene.
Oh, sorry, the end of Spider-Man 1, the graveyard scene.
Yeah. I swear on my dad's grave, Spider-Man will pay. Say what you will about James Franco. He's... I've heard everything, but ignoring what he's done in real life, he was given some good material to work with in the Raimi films. They gave MJ a good bitch to work with as kind of a mentor figure.
Yeah.
In a way.
I actually liked that. I liked that new take on her.
I actually really like in season 2 how they play with the fact that she's an actress, but they show that she's not perfect and she needs some training.
Yeah, because she's still in high school.
Yeah, duh. But I do like that about her because they're sticking to the comics but also keeping it real.
Yeah.
But I love how MJ is like trying to encourage Gwen to like seek Peter out because that's what she wants.
Yeah.
And also how I love how she just snaps her fingers to get Peter's attention because Peter's still being a teen in season 2 and just thinking every girl he interacts with is like
cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's such a teenager thing to do.
Dumb hormonal kid.
Trying to tell you need to go be with Gwen.
She's like actually a good person.
Yeah, she really is. Honestly, I actually buy Gwen and Peter a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like their personalities really do match.
I mean, the show even like kind of ships them together, so.
Well, I know the show does that, but like.
But like they actually, it's like a believable romance.
Yeah, it's believable.
It's not just forced.
It's not just two characters who are opposite genders.
No, kiss.
There's just so many good things in the show. The one character, actually, that I was really surprised I liked as much as I did, Flash Thompson. Flash Thompson, like...
He has an arc.
He has a really good one, too.
Like in season 2.
Yeah,
Well, even in season 1 a bit.
Yeah,
like,
in season 1, he's the one who actually tells Peter that he's going too far. Why Flash Thompson? But it's so good because it sets up that there is more to him than meets the eye.
Yeah. He sees that when actual damage is happening, then he tries to help fix it.
Yeah, like, in season 2, he's trying to defend Spider-Man, but also he has that entire arc where he literally goes to... The
football thing.
There's the football thing. Like, he literally turns Harry in because, playing juiced, that's against the rules.
Yeah.
And you gotta respect him for it. He did do the right thing in that situation.
Yeah.
And honestly, Flash Thompson just comes off as very believable. Like, they were able to do to make him a jock, but not turn him into a stereotype.
Yeah.
Which, as much as I love Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, I gotta say it. Flash Thompson in that movie. I still think he's more accurate than the Flash Thompson we got in the MCU across 3 films.
Right.
But, so technically he's the most accurate film version, but come on. Yeah, all in all, I'm really glad you talked me into watching this show because it really is the best Spider-Man show ever made.
Yes, I am highly inclined to agree.
I mean, you have nostalgia, but as I said, I had no nostalgia for this show.
Right.
I just went in as a lover of Spider-Man. And you watched season 1 with me. You saw how I was basically doing the little claps every time something from the comics happened that I really, really liked. Yes. I think that the time I did that the most was definitely Intervention, and you know why.
Yes.
Because Amazing Spider-Man 300! Black suit versus red suit fight!
Indeed.
Oh, I so want that fight in live action.
Right, yeah.
I would pay good money to see that fight in live action. Heck, if I had the effects, I would make that fight myself in live action.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It is. I agree 100%.
Yeah. So, I think this will just about do it for our discussion of Spectacular Spider-Man. If I had to rate the entire show,
I'd give it a solid 7.5.
Solid 7.5?
I mean, if I'm including the Craven part.
Oh, yeah, Craven drops it down. But then again, that's only 2 episodes, so don't let a bad apple ruin the bunch. Season 1 is fantastic, clearly S tier. Season
Yeah.
2, I think, drops it down to about a B. It's not terrible, but it's not as good as
So I
season
guess
1.
overall it's an A.
Yeah, it's like an A tier.
A minus maybe.
I think I'd give it like maybe like a solid 8. Yeah, a solid 8. So like B tier, but like borderline A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put this
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, sometimes I tend to be a negative person, so I tend to rate things by how many negative things there are. But I sometimes forget that sometimes there are some parts that are just so good that it's like it kind of just overpowers that.
Yeah, it is really good though, and I would gladly watch that show again. And I'm like, I don't know if you saw my Thor: Love and Thunder review, but I said at the end of that I needed some positive Marvel in my life, and the end of that video is me scrolling on my phone or acting like I am. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't actually like look at that moment and realize. Newsflash: no YouTuber actually does it in that moment and records it.
Yeah, the screen wasn't even on.
It really wasn't. You say that, but it really wasn't. But yeah, it was me saying that Spectacular Spider-Man was on Netflix. I've seen it all. It's so good. I love the show. So yeah. So if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. And I guess now I just gotta figure out what I want to watch next. Something I remember talking to you about that I didn't like in the beginning was like the art style of the show. But it really grew on me as episodes went on. I thought, man, this is really simplistic. Like, don't get me wrong, like, the CGI in Season 2 near the end was, like, really obvious.
Right, yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just because it's 2022. Like, it didn't look terrible, it just looked obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2008 CGI, but... Mixed, and it was mixed with animation, so... With 2D animation, so... It was no Prince of Egypt where it mixed them together almost seamlessly. But
Prince of Egypt is still good.
That's one of my favorite animated movies of all time.
Maybe I should make a review of that next. That'd be a really good idea.
And then I could use my sheep sona. It would be appropriate. Wait, you could be... The thumbnail would you be like stabbing me?
Or what if our thumbnail is actually just Moses and Ramses in that one scene? You know,
no, that could work. I was thinking it would be like I'm like throbbing on the floor, covered in blood, and you're just painting on the doorstep, on the doorpost.
That's such a funny idea. That's so bad.